Hey, it's Erik Collier here with the Collier Real Estate Group, and I am talking to you about our fifth law in a series of 7 laws on how to sell your home for up to 18% more. This week we're talking about law of buyer acquisition. And so with the law of buyer acquisition, it's essentially how do we convert and follow up and cultivate all the leads that our listing has generated because we've done such a good job setting the right price. We've differentiated, we have exposed the home to the broadest market possible, and we've had a targeted marketing approach to the 70% of likely home buyers, which is marketing through the buyer agent channel. So if you've done a good job, you should reasonably expect a lot of leads or inquiries to come your way. Now, you can have leads come through the internet, which is a big part. Word of mouth through networking is another big one. Or even people that are driving through the neighborhood that see the sign in the yard and will pick up the phone and call. So today we're going to be covering 4 different things here. We're going to give you a brief overview of the buyer acquisition and some statistics. We're going to cover some immediate response systems, which is how do we swoop up and get the low-hanging fruit and capitalize on hot buyers that are looking to purchase right this very moment. And for the ones that don't convert, well, not all hope is lost because we can talk about a drip marketing campaign to convert at a high rate those buyers that aren't quite ready now. And then last but not least, I want to give you a practical application of a real world example of what we can do to create a groundswell of demand for our listings before it even goes on the market through our coming soon listing program. So when we're giving an overview, I want you to keep in mind, when we're talking about this buyer acquisition and we think about buyers in general, you might be interested to know that 90% of all the home buyers are not ready to make a purchase right now. In fact, only 3% of the inquiries that your listing is going to generate are going to be buyers who want to literally sit down at the kitchen table and put ink on paper. So it's a very, very small fraction of the total market out there. And we're going to talk about how we can cultivate and nurture these relationships along through our drip marketing campaign. But for the purposes of this statistic, I want to focus now on the 3%. Now, just to show you kind of visually what I'm talking about here, some of you might know what this looks like. This is a bell curve, right? And you have 3 sides. Well, you have 3 components here. You have your 3 to 5% here, your 3 to 5% here, and your 90% here. Okay, so when we talk about the hot leads, this is what we're talking about right here. These are the people that are ready to go right now. And then on the other side, you have buyers who are putting in inquiries that really have no business contacting you in the first place. They're never going to buy a home. There's issues that just go far beyond what you can do to help. The biggest area of opportunity, though, is right here. This is the 90%. I mean, these are the home buyers that are going to be ready to do something at some point in time. And you don't want to let these things fall through the cracks. However, as far as the 3 to 5% goes, what does that convert? How do you convert those people? Well, let me just tell you what we do. Here at the Collier Group, we employ a professionally trained sales staff. I have an inside sales team. And these are individuals that are highly trained and they understand the sales process inside and out. So, for instance, when we get an inquiry from the internet or from a plethora of other channels, we have someone that is available to pick up the phone immediately and start asking good questions. When do you want to purchase? Are you working with an agent? What are you looking for in a home? Are you pre-qualified? Have you spoken with a banker? And all these different things to try to figure out, is this just a tire kicker or is this someone that we really need to work with right this very moment? And when we talk about immediate response systems, the speed in which you get a hold of these prospects and follow up with these inquiries and give them what they're looking for, which is the information, there is a correlation between how quickly you can talk to these people and a correlation between whether or not they make an offer. And what's interesting is that there was a Harvard business study that was done, and they looked at if there was a correlation between speed and having an offer. And what they said was, if you can follow up with a prospect within 15 minutes of that person submitting that inquiry, the chances of you converting that buyer into an offer and a closed deal goes up by 600% if you call them within the first 15 minutes. Just to kind of give you an idea, the average realtor in this market takes about 16 hours to follow up with a prospect. And by that time, they're already down the road looking at something else. The goal with some of these immediate response systems, and the reason why I employ professionally trained sales staff, is that when an inquiry comes in, if I'm negotiating a contract, or I am helping out a client, or a whole host of other things that I do as a value add for my clients, I don't want to miss an opportunity. So the goal is to strike while the iron is hot. And I have the fortunate ability to be able to have that capability for my clients. But that is a shocking number. And if I were a betting man, I would want to put my eggs in that basket for sure. 600% is a very strong number. Okay, so we talked about how to swoop in and capture the low-hanging fruit through our immediate response systems. Gave you a practical application on how we do that. What about the 90% right here in the middle? Now remember, out of 100 leads, 90 of those people are not going to purchase right now, but they may purchase at some point in the next coming months. And believe it or not, here's another statistic for you. Did you know 80% of all of the internet leads, so 80% of these 90 people, which is about 70 out of these 90 folks, they're going to make a purchase within the next 24 months. They might not purchase right now, but they're going to make a purchase. They can either purchase your home or they can purchase another home. And in my experience, it is the person or the service offering or the product that is the most available at the moment this person needs that usually is going to win the business. And that leads me into my next, my third check mark here, which is drip marketing. Okay? Now that we have exhausted the low-hanging fruit, maybe we weren't able to convert them for whatever reason, all hope is not lost. We still have a huge opportunity here. What does a drip marketing campaign look like? Well, as soon as my inside sales team fields these inquiries, they immediately go into what's called a CRM, a client relationship manager. And this client relationship manager is basically an online program where we build a buyer profile. We take all the information that we gleaned from that phone conversation and put it in there. We've got telephone numbers, email addresses, and we've literally got access to ways to get a hold of them, text messaging as well. And the drip marketing campaign is just what it sounds like. It's a constant drip of constant, pertinent, valuable information to that buyer over the course of however long they're looking to take to buy a house. It could be 6 months, it could be 9 months, and it could take 24 months. We don't know. But essentially, you don't want to waste this opportunity. So do you have a client relationship manager? Do you have information that's going to move that buyer into action? Some of the things that we use are we send out interest rate updates all the time. We also send out free reports on a property acquisition strategy that can help you save money and find the home of your dreams. We also have first-time homebuyer seminars, first-time homebuyer boot camps. We do networking events, and we have really nice touch points in order to get a hold of these prospects and not make them feel like they're being sold something. But then at some point they begin to need our services, and hopefully if we've done a good job, then we're going to be top of mind. And that can be very easily done if you're selling your home. Create a list of all of the buyers that have contacted you on your property. Do a good job of entering their names into a database. Check in with them every so often. Send them things, updates on the house, open houses, anything that you feel like is worthy and that they might have an interest in. And I promise you, if you do that continually, you will have a very high conversion rate. And then last but not least, a coming soon listing program. This is one of the best ideas I've implemented in a very long time. A lot of times when we have a client who wants to put their home on the market, but things aren't quite ready, maybe there's some projects that they need to do, some paint, some caulking, and you never want to put your home on the market when it's not absolutely perfect. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. But that doesn't stop us from trying to pre-market the home. So for about a 2 to 3 week time period, we're going to pre-market the home. We're going to try to create a groundswell of demand, get a jump start on the marketing, essentially is what we're hoping to do. And believe it or not, through the direct mail campaigns, through the email campaigns, and through the extensive marketing to our buyer database, a lot of times we'll have already located a buyer before it even hits the market. And as a seller, that's one of the things that you can do very easily to start trying to create a buzz around your property. People want a good deal. People want something that they can't have. A practical application is, think about an Apple product. Recently, the Apple iPhone and iPhone C was released. And if you watched it, Apple did a really masterful job of pre-marketing this iPhone for months leading up to its release date. Apple just didn't say, hey, I'm going to release it the same day as I'm going to let the world know about it. No, they created buzz and pent-up demand for that product, so by the time it was released, then they would sell out and make a lot of money. And that's exactly what you can do if you're selling your home. Spread the word, Facebook, networking, buyer's agents, just whatever you want to do, and get people talking to talk up the property and create a buzz and a demand for your home. I've seen this work great. It will not only make you more money, because remember, price is a function of supply and demand, and the goal there is to drive up demand on your home and get people to compete for your home. And then also, it'll shorten your days on market as well, because people are going to be willing to buy it as soon as it's available. So anyway, that was the law number 5, law of buyer acquisition. Next time, we're going to be talking about law number 6, which is the law of negotiation. And the law of negotiation is that what strategies do you have to get the highest price possible? Someone once told me, you don't get what you ask for, you get what you negotiate. And so in a few short minutes, we're going to give you a hands-on look at some strategies that we use here at the Collier Group to get leverage and to get better deals for our clients, and how we can get the home sold for closer to asking price. That's going to be next time, next week, law number 6, the law of negotiation. You certainly don't want to miss that one.